Good morning. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. A very warm welcome to all of our aspirants who of PhD programs in India. It's wonderful to see all of you, and I think all of your presence tells us about the will to participate in this growing cutting edge bioscience ecosystem, which is thriving in the country, ask big questions, and then work together to develop solutions. So, while we have put together this virtual town hall series, today is in a week's time, a PhD program in biosciences, i3c BRIC-RCB, which is anchored by the Department of Biotechnology of Government of India, comes to an end. And we have with us Professor Arvind Sahu, who's the Executive Director of Regional Center for Biotechnology based in Faridabad, to talk about the program and also ask your questions after that. Uh, so before we move on, and I welcome Professor Sahu to talk about the program, I'm going to steal a couple of minutes and talk a little bit about the program that I'm representing. And that's India Bioscience. Uh, So the virtual town hall series that we have and is happening today is essentially to have community-driven conversations about issues that are relevant for the life science ecosystem in India by bringing together active and aspiring researchers, educators, funding bodies, and other STEM professionals. India Bioscience uh, has this tagline, engaging communities, enabling change, that beautifully encapsulates what we do and how we do it. We are a not-for-profit, primarily funded by the Department of Biotechnology to drive science engagement through communication, training, policy, and community forums like this. And through all of these initiatives, we reach out to researchers, other science professionals, and other target groups. And today, we are reaching out to those people who are aspiring for PhD programs. We execute our initiatives in different ways, and that includes digital initiatives like webinars, podcasts, ebooks, short videos, and these are things that you would find on our website. We also have in-person meetings, workshops, and conferences across the year. So today's event, as I said, we are targeting aspiring PhD students, and we are doing that by shining the spotlight on the i3c BRIC-RCB PhD program in biosciences. And please note that the deadline for submission is 15th of this month. Why we are having this town hall is we do understand that the PhD application process in itself would be very overwhelming, and you would have questions about eligibility, the program, the career paths after that, the different projects that you can apply to, different institutions that you can apply to. And we have the team itself led by Professor Arvind Sahu to answer all of those questions. Our goal is going to help you gain clarity through your interactions today. And I would emphasize on the term interactions. We urge you to leave your questions in the chat box throughout the program. My team is looking at the chat box, and they will compile all of the questions. We have a half an hour Q&A at the after Professor Sahu's presentation, and we will take as many questions as possible. And if we are not able to take some of your questions during the live session, what we will do is compile all of those questions and send them to Professor Sahu's team to get them answered. I would urge you to keep your questions clear and concise and be respectful in your language. This will help us keep the conversation smooth and engaging for the entire community. So, Professor Sahu, you can I'll stop sharing my screen so that you can start doing that. And the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sivli and Momita and the entire team of India Bioscience. We are excited about this i3c program, and what I am going to do today is tell you about what this program is all about. This program has been started last year. We spent almost a whole year trying to figure out what the program should be, where all the directors and the secretary of department of biotechnology himself spent almost every second Saturday uh, discussing and going back and forth and trying to work out what is the best for the students. So the message I want to give is that this is a very well curated program, and this is one of the unique programs of the Department of Biotechnology, where all the BRIC institutions and RCB and ICGB have come together, right? So let me share the slides with you. And
Yes,
please let me know if you can see my slides.
we can.
Yeah, are these visible? Okay. And is everything is visible or it's only the part of the slide?
Everything is visible. Looks
Okay,
great.
great. Yeah. So this is the name is i3c. And the question is then why i3c? What does it really mean? So it's ideate, it stands for ideate, innovate, immerse, and collaborate, right? And this is very, very critical in today's scenario of the research, that unless you do, this is not possible. So why we thought of this program, right? So if you actually, there are many, many articles, including one I'm showing you is from the Nature. The PhD program which we have now is no longer really a fit, right? So this started, in 1810. The single PhD program started in Germany, actually, in Berlin University in 1810, and that's when the structured program came, followed by Europe. Entire Europe took it up, and that's how the whole thing started. And it was a very successful way of doing PhD. But then if it is really, very good program, why people are talking about that we need to change this, right? The reason is very simple, because it's meant to be a single PI based PhD. Okay. And if it is a single PI based PhD, which you are talking about, then the exposure is kind of limited, because you would learn the techniques which are available in the lab, in the way you want to discuss the problem and take it further. It's not a kind of a cross-disciplinary working for the student. On the other hand, if you actually pick up any paper these days from Science, Nature, or Cell, you will see that multiple labs are collaborating together to actually answer those questions which are there. But the same thing is not reflected in PhD, that although when we publish the best of the papers, the multiple teams are there, but then the same thing we don't do for our students, and they are single PI based PhD, right? And they don't have a cross disciplinary teaching and network, and therefore it is important to do that, right? And that is the kind of genesis of this program, that we thought it is important that we should teach them this, right? And therefore there should be enough depth to the program, curiosity, and one should create a value in today's time when we talk about this. So what did we do for this program, right? So first is that, as I said, we wanted this to be a cross-disciplinary PhD training program, meaning that the students are exposed to multiple PIs, to multiple projects, to knowing the whole big program, something like a program project, right? Where you are answering a bigger question, but your PhD is part of that. But you know the entire, really a program, what is it all about, right? And therefore, for people, PIs from different institutes and different disciplines are coming together to answer that question. So that's something which we thought would be something we would like to provide. And therefore, this is not a single PI, right? And also, we wanted to align these with our national goals, right? So there are certain needs for India and priorities of India, and therefore we wanted to align. Now, a lot of, see, the program which we have so far, a single PhD program, what happens there that the students after their masters come to a particular lab and then they go for their postdoc, then again they are in the lab. Now they start their own research and again they are in the lab. They actually are not exposed to the ground realities of the country or the nation. So they don't know the real challenges or the problems which one needs to solve. And therefore, to do this, there must be immersion program where the students actually go into the field and not in another lab. And then they get exposed and talk to people and figure out the problem. And therefore, there is a 3 months immersion program which is built in into this after their coursework where they go, right? Now, again, these days, it's very, very critical that, we also expose them to entrepreneurship. How does one do that? If you have certain leads, how one takes them to the next level, right? What is the process? What are the challenges? What are the bottlenecks, right? Now, this part is not taught to our students at present the way we do. And therefore, we thought that we should include that too, right? And therefore, the whole idea is that, to create a resource, a human resource, which is futuristic and not, what we are doing for last 200 years and keep doing the same thing. And therefore, the idea is, as Dr. Gokhale says, the converting Vidya into Kala. Vidya is the knowledge and Kala is something which you sort of make, in real world challenges. So you use your knowledge to actually answer the real world challenges. And that's what the Vidya to Kala means. And therefore, that is what the effort is. So the question is, okay, in this program, who is involved? So all the DBT institutions, so I am not sure if all the students know about this, but I would like to tell them that there are 15 different DBT institutions, and 13 of them have been subsumed into one council called BRIC, Biotechnology Research and Innovation Council, and two of the institutions out of 15, that is RCB and ICGB, they are outside because they have been created little differently and they cannot be subsumed directly. And therefore, we use the word BRIC plus, meaning these 13 institutions plus two more institutions. So we are one big family who are coming together to help the students and do a research which is networked and multiple institutions are involved. And we are located all over India. As you know, we are in Delhi, Faridabad, Manesar, Mohali, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Kalyani, Bhubaneswar, Imphal, Pune, Trivandrum. So we are everywhere. So these institutions are at different places and each one of them have a focus particular. So the next thing, of course, is why one should join this i3c program, right? What we are offering them, apart from what I said, that interdisciplinary research, right? So there is an advanced coursework in this, and I'll come to that, what we mean by advanced coursework. So we wanted to teach them, which they haven't learned earlier. There is an enriching immersion program, which I talked about, a 3 months enriching program. And the coursework, of course, is 6 months, which will be conducted at RCB. There is a hands-on training on high-end technology. So during this 6 months of coursework, they will be exposed to different platforms which are high-end every single afternoon. So in the afternoon, they will be actually going to what we call as Advanced Technology Research Center we have in platforms. So there we have all these high-end equipments. They will be going and learning that. And of course, the projects are interdisciplinary in nature. In which field we want to do, right? What are the thematic areas? So the thematic areas are health innovations, sustainable biomanufacturing, AI-driven innovations and computational data, and biotechnology for animal and plant bioresources. So let me take you through the coursework, which I said that I will get back to you. So the first one is instrumentation powered research methodology. What we mean is by that is that we will not only teach you how these instrumentations work, but we'll give you hands-on right from the foundation module. We'll teach you even how to hold a pipette and make sure that the pipette is calibrated properly, how one finds out from that to running gels, but also different platforms like protein purification, optical imaging, flow cytometry, mass spectrometry, data analysis, genomics, right? All these high-end platforms we will be exposing you to every single afternoon in a workshop mode. So you will be spending the time in ATPC and learning all this. The next one, which students are usually not exposed, are biostatistics and data science. So we have at RCB, IBDC, Indian Biological Data Center, right? So the data science will be taught by them, where they'll be able to get the real example and of course the biostatistics. Now we are also getting help from others. So we have teachers not just from RCB, but from all the BRIC institutions. We have science communication and ethics. And we also have, like I said, translation research and entrepreneurship. How one does that. And of course, that is followed by 3 months of immersion program. So the coursework starts in August and ends in December. And from Jan to March is the immersion program. So, mentoring, how does one mentors and how they are evaluated? So these students will, there will be conclaves and they will be presenting on third year and fifth year. All the students will come together. Of course, the other students who are not coming will be joining online, but there will be weekly meetings. So these projects, all the PIs, and they will come. Not only PIs, there will also be a mentor. There will be one senior mentor for each of the program. So this will be monitored on a weekly basis is what is happening from different ones. So students' presentations, people will look at what they are doing, give their suggestions. They will also come to know what other students are doing in different labs, right? And they will know exactly what the total program is that. And these will be presented to all the students when they come for interaction in RCB. So there will be selections and they will come here. So PIs will actually present and they will be available for discussion, right? So we will make sure that there is enough time. There will be one table for each of the program and all the PIs will be sitting and they students will be able to actually go to them, talk to them, find out about the program and decide their mind. So who is eligible? We have, of course, MSc, MTech, anything, life sciences, chemistry, physics, M.Pharm. So pretty much everyone. We will not only these, but what we will also intake is students from engineering background, but from non-biological sciences and also from medicine. There is a separate stream for that. And the minimum qualification, of course, is 60% aggregate marks. So there are two streams, track 1 and track 2. In track 1, if students have national fellowship for 5 years, they are eligible for this, right? And they can come to us. In the track 2, we instituted this with the philanthropic support, And this is meant for the MTech students from non-BTech students from non-biological sciences and medicine graduates. So they did not have fellowship. They will be provided higher fellowship, which is listed here, GRF 43,000 and SRF 50,000. So this is instituted and RCB will give them from here. Okay. So portal is open. Here's the address, so you can reach and start filling the applications. What is the selection process? There's two stages of selection. The first one is the online, where we'll be selecting, shortlisting students online. And the second is offline, that is in person at RCB. We will be arranging a stay for all these students nearby RCB. There will be buses who will be going there and picking the students, bringing them to RCB for the interactions and for the interviews. And those will be selected. So we'll be selecting in two stages, 70 for the track 1 and 5 for the track 2. Now, one more thing I would like to add here is that when they go for the immersion program, that is again funded. So the Grand Challenges India is going to fund and they're going to give 1.5 lakhs to each student, and they will be able to spend that money at their will. Okay, they need not submit all the bills. So as and when their travel, their accommodation, their meals, whatever is needed, or going to the field, to the site, when they do, they will have expenses, but these will be paid. Okay, so this will be given in the form of a grant to all the students. So here are the timelines. It starts, like already mentioned to you, June 15th is the application deadline. And the other deadlines are also listed. These are also listed on our website, right? So there is a QR code given here, or you simply type i3c PhD program or i3c BRIC-RCB PhD program and if you Google it, you will go to the site and you will be able to see that. So like I said, we give hands-on right from the foundation Moodle to all those. We also do leadership talks, right? So on Saturdays, where your students are more relaxed, we get the best of the people in the field to talk to them one-to-one. So they give a talk and then students can interact with them, and they are from the academia as well as from the industry, right? Like Subramani, he has his own setup and they can interact with them, find out how did they get into this field, where did they start, what it takes to do this, right? What are the challenges, what are the bottlenecks? We also do design thinking workshop for them, right? So it's important that they run. So critical thinking is something very important. Solving a problem, all these things is very important to have design thinking, right? And we do workshop, but do we do it ourselves? We are not the experts, so we involve School of Design Thinking. We get these people here and they come and do a 2 days workshop here, right? So is the science communication workshop. So we have a team which comes here and then they do science communication. They teach. We have this team from RCB and other people's, from NCCS, and also we will get the professional help. And all these people come and actually take you through what is it, what is the science communication is all about, right? So there will be multiple workshops for these students apart from whatever I talk, right? So I'll stop here. Thank you so much. And if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Professor Sahu. That beautifully summarizes everything that the program has conceptualized and also implemented over the first year of the program. So congratulations on that to your entire team and you. To the students, I would want to say, as somebody who had done a PhD years back in India, I think this program is unique because where you start is an immersion program. Also, apart from various things. When you are doing a PhD in India, many times, even when you become an investigator, you end up working in silos and also thinking in silos, given the kind of training that we go through. Why this is going to open up those silos for you, and very timely that too. And that's very important because when Professor Sahu emphasizes on the word of, on lived experiences, on experiencing lived experiences of other people, that makes you value uh, people who have nothing to do with research but are impacted by that. And that is where you frame questions that would be more useful for the society as you go ahead. So, Professor, we do have a couple of questions over here in the chat box, and I'm going to take both of them. So, the first is from Sumesh Bajpai. He wishes you, and then he asks, he wants to know what are the expectations of the faculty from the students for selection? I think essentially what would get a student selected for the program.
Okay, so basically it's the same as everywhere else, is that you must know the basics. You must know your subject, right? And when they question you, they ask in general about what you know, what you have learned, from which stream you have coming. They will go to that specific stream knowledge. They will try to get you. So, they will ask you specific questions. So there will be some general questions, there will be some specific questions about the stream, and there will be situation questions. They will make a situation and they will put you through that and say, okay, if this is what one needs to solve, how you're going to approach this, right? This opens up basically the mind, right? Here is a situation which you want to solve. And there are different ways. There's no one answer. There are different ways one can answer that. But that's the real world challenges, right? That you get into that. And so they will make the situation questions also to you and ask you those and say, okay, if you want to do this, how are you going to proceed, right? So these will be the sort of way they're going to question you in general.
Thank you for that, Professor Sao. So there is a second question from Shitanshu Pandey. It's a two-part question. The first part is, could you please clarify for students from computer science or data science backgrounds, if students from computer science and data science backgrounds are eligible to apply for the program? I think that's a yes,
Yes,
given the
yes.
track to information that you shared. The second part of the question is something that you might want to take, and that is what kind of interdisciplinary preparation you would recommend for someone like me, like Sutanshu, to strengthen their candidacy for the current and next admission cycle. How should they
Yeah.
prepare?
Sure. So, as I said that, there are two tracks and therefore we will have a separate committee for track two because they don't know biological sciences. So, please be assured that they are not going to ask you the what is biological questions because you have not, and there will be a separate committee for you. So they'll be asking, there'll be people from IITs and other places, and they will ask you. In terms of the each project will have, the data science questions in the analysis of large data, right? And different questions and hypotheses which one would like to answer. So you will be exposed to that. In terms of biology, we will be teaching you, right? So you will be exposed to this, but of course, in-depth knowledge you will not get from what you're going to learn here because we are considering that they know. But what you will have to do when you go back for your PhD is, go. There are very good courses available online. So my suggestion is that go to online. Those courses are there. Whichever stream you are interested, learn those, discuss when you go. So there are a lot of examples in India where people from physics and mathematics and they got into biology and they are very, very successful. And the reason is the way they think is completely different from a biologist who thinks, right? So they actually solve the problems which even biologists never thought of that. So they become very successful. But when we discuss with such kind of people, and they're of course many of them are directors as well, and they said that this is what they went to TFR and they would talk to all the friends there, discuss with the PI, discuss with other faculties, read more about that and write it down. Because a lot of terms biologists use, and they said, oh, that used to be a big, problem for us. We wouldn't understand what this term really means. And then they would go back and do. But of course, that's the way they did it, and very successfully they did it. So, if you are data science, that shouldn't deter you from do that, because nowadays, unless you are from different backgrounds and learn things, you won't be. So you basically these students will be answering questions which a normal biology student wouldn't even think about, answering such questions. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity, and it would be great for the data science people who come and approach and join this program.
Thank you for that, Professor Sahu. I would also insist that you read at, some personal accounts of scientists on a website who came from a non-biological background and then took up biological questions to answer and did pretty well. The next question is from Anand Jha, and that's in this program we will also be getting a chance to will we also be getting the chance to select the institution of our choice? Will there be another interview with the respective institution?
No. So here the choice is only given to students and not the PI. So I want to make it very clear that the choice will be given only to students, and PI won't have say there. What PI will be doing is they will be available here on RCB campus to talk to you. They, each program there will be a number, and then you go to that table and you would like to go as many as possible, talk to them during lunch, dinner, tea time, and specific times we will be providing for that. So do talk to them, right? And you can give a choice. So we will give you so you go talk, make up your mind, make up which PI actually you'll be able to choose the PI as well, not just the institute, because all will be listed. You will be given a choice form which you will have to fill it out online. So you can give first, second, third. The only here is that, let's say if we have 100, we would like you to fill out all the 100. Okay. So you won't be able to submit that form, but you make from 1 to 100, right? In the choice you would like to make, and then fill up this form. But the choice is going to be entirely of the student and not the PI. So that's again a plus here. Okay.
And the ball's in the student's court. So
Yeah.
take your pen and paper, come up with as many questions as possible, and refine your networking skills when you go for that. So the next question is from Sunil Kumar Das. Sir, can you please elaborate on the final selection based on the given PI preferences? The question is not very clear to me. Is that clear to you?
No, not based on PI. We are not going to select anyone based on PI. We are going to select based on their performance in the interviews, right? First and the second. And we will be selecting. And as I clarified earlier, the choice is from the student side. They will have to choose, first, second. But I would say that, they will have to fill out, because you may not get the first or the second or the third choice. So give, and, the way we have designed the form, they will have to tick all, which we'll again clarify here, right? And if you have any questions which is not clear, go to our site. Either you send it to India Bioscience, or, there is an email ID which is available on RCB website, or i3c simply. There is a web page there, and write there your question, and we'll be happy to answer that, right? But like it will be clearly based on your performance, not based on your choice of which PI you want. That you will be deciding where you want.
Okay. So the next question is from Rakesh Zakar. If one selects a project, does that mean that students will have to juggle between the faculties leading the project? So if there are multiple investigators of a project, or how does that work?
Yeah, so basically, they will be selecting a particular PI. Let's say, I mean, they
Yeah.
will eventually get one. So you have 10 and you have been given one PI, and that is based on your performance in the interview. And you go to that. Now it's going to be interdisciplinary thing. So one more thing which is added here is that suppose if I am with one PI and doing a part of the work, and my thesis requires that I also need to work in another lab, I will actually will be able to go to another lab and work there and collect the data. So there can be not just PI but co-PI, or even if the person is not co-PI and they're part of this big program, they will be able to go to any of those labs and then do their work, right? So this is not restricted. The another advantage, which they would realize after they join, why we made this, why we wanted all the students to come to one place, right? So what happens when people come together, they interact with, so they will become friends, right? And if they have any issue, let's say a facility which is mass spec not working in one place, there is another place, where the mass spec facility is available. The students know each other. So they can simply call their friend who they interacted with. They said, hey, come on, my thing is not working. Can I come to your place? How does it work? Can you please align this? I'm facing this problem. And actually, I'll tell you that we had made a WhatsApp group. Now students made their own WhatsApp group, the first batch, and they are still in touch, right? So they have any problem, they just, text it and they get the answer. So that's something like, this kind of a system we have for bureaucrats, IS officers. They are in one place. They need to solve the problem. All they do is pick up the phone and say, help me out, Ria. This is what I want to reach. They can do it so easily. The idea is why we cannot do it, why we shouldn't be, putting them together, right? So that becomes a one large big batch and a family where, they can help each other. So that's the idea.
Great. Um, can BE and biotechnology students apply through track one? Would they be eligible? BE in biotechnology.
Yeah, being biotechnology are eligible for track one, provided they have 5 years of fellowship. They should have a valid 5 years fellowship. They will be able to apply.
Thank you. There's a question from Kishore Ghosh. Good morning. I have done my master's from the University of Bardhaman in zoology. They have shared their scores as well. I'm looking for a PhD from institutions like RCB, and I'm very much interested in the program. What excites me more is that the interdisciplinary nature of this program. So please let me know. Okay, so yes, you are eligible. Again, you need to have a fellowship. So the next question is from Abna. Oh, okay. So we have a very enthusiastic person over there with Abna. Is there any internship which could be attended by masters after somebody finishes their masters? I think this is towards the preparation of a PhD.
Yeah, well, internship is available, of course, those are there. You can apply to different institutions. When you do during masters, also people come here as, summer trainee or project trainee, and then they can go through that. What we also have is after masters, we have initiated a 1 year diploma program in RCB called a postgraduate diploma in industrial biotechnology. In this program also, it's a 1 year program where they get credits as well. So they work, they are here with us 6 months, and then they do internship in different places. For example, they go to Serum Institute or Sun Pharma or Panacea or these kind of institutions there they do, and that's also there. So if someone, let's say, has a MSc and they would like to get into this to do that internship, actually in a company, we have a program for that. We call it PGDIB. Please type this and you will be able to get all the information you need. And there, the best part is that the teachers are all from industry, basically. So 80% of our teachers are those who are from industry because they know what is needed in the industry and people in academia don't know. So Only there's some basic modules we teach here, but primarily it's taught by that. So there is something like that kind of program if anybody's interested in that.
Thank you. I know that was not related to the program itself,
Yeah.
but thank you for answering that. There's a question from Tanu who wants to know if they can, go and get trained in another institution during the course of the training. I think that's a yes, because that's still a practice in Indian institutions. Um, are masters in pharmacy students also eligible? They are,
Yes.
yes. And okay, so again, eligibility related questions. I'm going to skip that. So there's a question from Tuja Ukale about opportunities for international exchange or research collaborations under the program. Can
Currently,
PhD?
no. Under this program, we do not have any exchange, right? And so for answer for this particular program is no. No exchange in this program currently. There is something, discussions are going on, but not certainly in near future, because it will have to be built with many different institutions and particularly thought about how students get benefited and not that they use them as hands. So there are two ways of looking at it, right? So someone just wants some more hands to be there, and we don't like that idea. So there is discussion. As of now, the answer is no.
Thank you for that. I think there's another question about eligibility of students from agriculture background are eligible. I think again that's a yes,
Yes.
given how many years and the
Yes,
fellowship
and
that
we
you have.
have programs in plant biology as well, because NIPGR has plant programs, RCB has programs related to that. There will be programs also in I3C, which will be answering only questions in this area. Okay, so yes, answer is yes.
Shitanshu has just again asked for a clarification. I just want to confirm that final semester MCA students are eligible for track two. They have to complete their degrees before they to be
Yes,
eligible.
yes.
Yes. Um, yeah. So another question from Kishore. For enrolling in PhD, I need to qualify GRF exams. So meanwhile, can I join GRF positions in the institution or any project assistant position if that's available? Of course, I think you can. That's no-brainer. There are no more questions in the chat box. I do have a question from my intern who is also an aspirant in my inbox. I'm going to read that out. And a question I would also want to ask is, so how competitive was the selection process, from your experience last year in terms of the seats that are there and versus, how many applicants you got?
Yeah,
If you can
so
share.
there were many students. The total roughly around 800 students we got, applied a little
Oh,
over 800. Yeah, and but we select 75, so that's large number. So it's not that we're talking about 5 and 10, right? And one thing I just want to say, if you are a good student, you will be selected, right? Because the numbers are big here. So don't worry about selection, because this is not like one institution, because there the intake is somewhere around 15, 10 to 15 and max 20. Once in a while, some in some institutions they may ask for 20, but that's about it, right? And 20 is also very rare, so it's more in the range of 10 to 15. But here you did 75, so that's large number. So if you are a good student, be assured that you will be selected. Just be yourself and think about these. When you are answering questions, be very specific. Also, if something you don't know, tell them you don't know. The streams which you have learned really well, tell them, I'm from this background, so you can ask me from this particular area questions. I'm more comfortable. All that you can do to tell them what you know. There's no one in this world who knows everything, right? So it's just that what they want to know is how sharp you are, how smart you are, and not just answering the rote questions, but also thinking a little bit that here is a situation, how are you going to solve it, right? How are you going to answer? Now there are different ways of answering those, right? Just to give an example, let's say, if we have to get rid of some disease and it's caused by pathogen, right? So one would immediately think of a vaccine, said, "Oh, COVID, let's make a vaccine and be protected us from us that," or make antibiotics and directly, kill the pathogen so that we get. Now, let's say if you put it to a question that, okay, these two things are out. Can you think of a third strategy, a fourth strategy? What are the other ways one can solve the problem beside these? Because there will be breach in immunity because pathogen evolve. So even if the you take flu shot and then next season you suffer again because the pathogens have evolved. So is the drug resistance, right? So these are not the foolproof ways of containing a disease. Can you think of more? Yeah, something like that. This is just one example I'm giving you. But think through this is what could be. That doesn't mean this question will be asked. This is just I made one to explain. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Professor. A couple of questions more crippled in. So is there a specific duration for completing the entire PhD?
Yeah, so we would like all the students to finish it by 5 years, and therefore there is going to be a monitoring, right? Uh, like I said, there will be weekly monitoring, there will be monthly monitoring, and so yeah, so that we would like to ensure that they finish it. But yeah, in certain cases, if so for some reasons the things are not there, then they'll have to spend. But we would like to ensure that's one of the things, because sometimes students take much longer. And I have seen students doing PhD for 7 years, 8 years, and that's a really long time to spend just to do PhD. So yeah, that's not the idea. The idea is that they should be able to finish it in 5 years.
Thank you. Um, is only the interview the basis of selection, or the ranks or scores for the JRF is also considered for selection
No.
into the
No, rank
units?
is not considered. As long as you have the valid fellowship, you are in. So that's only for that. After that, there is no good exam. Let's put it that way. Who can say, figure it out how intelligent you are, how smart you are, or how you can do troubleshooting, right? This is just one. Exams are just one way to do that. But logical thinking is very, very critical, right? And many a time our questions, the way they are framed, they don't allow us to do that, right? So no, that's just the passport to apply, get in. Rest is up to you, and in the interviews how you perform.
Great. Um, so there are no questions in the chat box. So I think one other question that I wanted to ask you is, um, how do applicants get an idea of what are the different uh, themes of research that are available across the institutions? I'm sure they will also be able to go to their respective websites and find out more. So could you tell a little bit about
Yeah.
the
So no, so this entire list of programs for this year we will be posting on our website. So they will be available to all. So if you just go to the website, I don't know if they are posted. We have the list ready. So if they are not there, they'll be posted in next few days. But they will be able to see the entire list of programs those are available. Not only that, I mean, after the interview and the selections, and actually even before we announce the last, because we want to save time, so what we do is usually, we allow them to interact even before the final selection results are out when they are here, because, then they can really talk at leisure with this. So each program, actually, this is the only program where First, the director will talk about what their institution is all about, what kind of facilities are. All the directors, they will present them. Then the PIs will present all the programs, saying that, okay, here's the program. What is this all about? After that, they will be able to interact with them one to one, and there will be tables. So you just go to that table and then talk to them. Such kind of thing is never thought, right? But we wanted to streamline, and that's the way we believe in big plus institutions that we should do. And therefore, it's all about the ease and all towards tilted towards students, what they want to do. Yeah.
So the list that the professor has mentioned is actually there already published on the BRIC website. Sorry, the i3c BRIC website, and you'll find a complete list of projects and the investigators, co-investigator, all in one place for you to make an informed decision and do some reading before you go for that final interview. So I'll just ask you one final question, Professor, and we don't have any more questions over here in the chat box, so we'll be wrapping up early. Just one question to go. So I do know that this is just the 1 year of the program that has been completed. Where do you see your the students, completing this program going after completing their PhDs?
So, we have students, I interacted them. Different students think differently. Some of them, they want to go abroad and do a postdoc and come back and do. Some people said that no, no, we want to actually start something of our own. Some people actually, so when we send them for internship, we actually randomize it. Okay, so we do a lottery. The idea is that there is always, something you can learn from another field. Let's say I'm doing completely something MTB work. I go to plant and say, why am I'm here? But the experience you get and something, right? Even so, if you learn about the metabolism in plant and this and that and those kind of thing, you can always, from other field also you can put. But one student went here and he changed his mind and he said, I want to do a startup, but I want to solve these problems. That's the major problem. And I want to do that after my PhD, right? So, they are exposed different students have different, thinking in the way they go. But what we are trying to do is, expose them to everything apart from providing them, this larger project where they get to know and learn how to do, answer bigger questions, not get into very small focused, right? That would be for their PhD, but what about the whole picture? So that's the idea of this program. Expose them as much as possible, do as many important workshops which are important for them. It's all about students to do that. And I am here, I tell, which I will be telling them when they are here, that, we think I'm not a director really. I am here talking to you as someone who is a facilitator and an enabler. So I tell them, please walk into my office anytime you want, you have any questions or you have any difficulties, right? So that's the way we function. I think it's our duty to give the best to our students and young people we have, here in India. I mean, we are so fortunate that we have so many young people, right, as opposed to any other countries. And so we should give them the best training we can. That's the whole idea.
Thank you so much, Professor Sahu. You have been very generous with your time to answer all of the questions that there were. And we are closing the chat box for now, but my team has already shared a link and many relevant links, including that of the i3c BRIC program. The deadline is 15th of this month. So if you are interested to apply, please go through the website, go through the session that we just had, and I hope all of the information that you would gather has equipped you well to for your application process, and do that a little with a little bit more confidence. So all the best with that. I would like to thank the Department of Biotechnology, uh, uh, BRIC, RCB, Professor Sahu, for your question. Oh, I think there is, Anand, we did look at your question, and this is something that we can, that has already been discussed, which is why I did not take it. It's about entrepreneurship opportunities provided by the program. And this is something Professor has already answered. And if you
Yeah,
would
there's
give
an
us some.
entire coursework on that. Not only that, they will be exposed, in leadership talks. We also have an incubator here, by incubator on campus. So they will be actually just walk there, and they also teach them. They also do, train them. So they can actually see, and how people are doing, what they do, how they raised 30 CR. We have an incubator who went to Shark Tank and was supported by all the sharks. Who is this guy? How did he come into this? What did he do? Right? So we have examples where they can just simply walk to these places and discuss with them. Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Professor. Um, I would also like to thank the audience who have been very attentive. And then my team over here is a really small one, but a very committed one at that. So thank you, all of you, for putting this together. And Professor Kalaivani, who has joined us when we started with the session, I would insist that people who are aspiring to apply go through the website also, but also, leave us your feedback about this session and what are the other conversations that you would want us to curate for you through the virtual town halls that we design. Thank you, Professor. Thank you, everyone.
So thank you so much, Dr. Mitra and the entire team for arranging this program so that we can present. I also thank Dr. Kalaivani. I mean, she is behind the curtains, but this entire program is coordinated by one person. So you can imagine how much work she is doing day in, day out, right? There's no Saturday, Sunday. And so really thank her from bottom of my heart for doing this. It's a huge thing to do and coordinate, not an easy since inception. She is part of this and spent hours and hours and hours together. And there's no time, right? It's not 9 to 5. Even after hours and late hours and discussing things to work it out. So thank you so much, Dr. Kalaivani. Thank you very much, everyone. And of course, thanks to all the students for coming here and asking your questions. And please feel free to ask more questions. You can send it to us at RCB or India Bioscience. We'll be happy to answer those. Okay. Thank you so much and all the very best.